hands away your G-Unit shoes. Don't want you on my hooks, don't wanna be in your group. Just wanna sit here and wait to be gone, so I can head back to the block. Fresh white night airs in the...
Hold on, I don't want to get copyright or nothing. Hang on. We about to see what Nicki's up to.
Matching socks fitted, pull the brim low. If they don't get it, Bentley coupe on go Dayton's.
I was the first one with it.
4 times platinum, I done been there and did it.
Came in the game and shit it, then wiped my ass with it. Hold on. Let's see what Nicki's up to. Hit that subscribe. My YouTube, my streams don't get sent out. I think I got a shadow man, but please help me.
Kind of picking up
help
what has
me.
been going on the past couple weeks. It's more of this, more
right
white genocide.
500
Big story out of Northern Ireland, which is that an Irish man was beheaded almost by a Sudanese migrant. He was arrested, taken into custody, charged with murder.
I think we're good.
Now Belfast is on fire. Young white men are rioting in the streets, burning down buildings, setting cars on fire. Keir Starmer says the violence is unacceptable. They've deployed police to go and shut it all down. This is a story from the New York Times. It says, quote, a night after Northern Ireland was roiled by violence in the wake of a stabbing attack, the police on Wednesday said they had fired water cannons at crowds gathered near Belfast as the authorities ramped up their presence in the country. On Tuesday, firefighters and emergency responders had escorted immigrant families from homes that had been set on fire in Belfast, and fears remained high of a repeat of that violence. Burning cars had blazed on the street, and a city bus was set ablaze by a group that appeared to be mostly young men, many of them masked, and roads elsewhere in the city were blocked. 2 police officers were injured in Tuesday's unrest, described by the police as sporadic pockets of disorder across Northern Ireland. The violence came after the authorities charged Hadi Alodid, a 30-year-old Sudanese man, with attempted murder in a stabbing attack in Belfast on Monday night, prompting calls from anti-immigrant activists for protests amid heightened tensions in the UK over immigration. Mr. Alodid, a refugee and legal resident, appeared in a Belfast court on Wednesday morning. Prosecutors identified the attack's victim as Stephen Ogilvie. He is in the hospital with serious injuries to his face, neck, and back, and prosecutors said he had lost an eye. The Police Service of Northern Ireland said in a statement that a large policing presence would be maintained across the country in the coming days to reassure communities and ensure public
one
order.
Person in here. Who's in here? Say hello.
Must be nice. They later called a list circulating online calling for specific properties to be targeted as totally unacceptable.
Say what's up.
Prime Minister Keir Starmer of Britain, in a statement posted on X, called the violence in Belfast shocking and unacceptable, adding that, quote, it is clear that people were targeted last night because of their background, and I will not tolerate it. Isn't that interesting? So now it's unacceptable. Now we're not going to tolerate it. Young white men are being stabbed to death in the street, we tolerate it. When white men are being beheaded in the street, we tolerate it. It's apparently perfectly acceptable for that to happen all the time. When young girls are being groomed and raped, when young men are being stabbed to death by gangs and murderers, we're going to tolerate that. We're going to tolerate that all day. We're going to tolerate that all day. We're going to keep bringing the perpetrators into the country. We're not going to send the perpetrators out of the country because we're tolerating it. And you just have to get used to it. Isn't that what the mayor of London said? That's just part and parcel of living in a major city? Nail bombs and truck attacks and stabbings and grooming gangs. They say that's just part and parcel of living in a major city. So this isn't rhetoric. This isn't an exaggeration. That's literally how they see it. When young white boys and girls are being raped and killed, and it happens all the time. It is an epidemic in the UK.
If you're new,
the knife and sword attacks, the grooming gangs, and the rapes. It is an epidemic. It is a pattern. It's a real problem. And when the far right, or you could even just say, normal people, when normal, decent people in these countries stand up and say, hey, when is the government going to do something about this? When will they protect us? Or better yet, let us protect ourselves? Why do we have to live in fear? of these Muslim or African hordes with their knives and these intimidation tactics, and they're called to prayer. When will we be protected? Can we not deport these people? Can we not arrest these people? Where's the law enforcement? And what they effectively tell us is, get used to it. They say, hey man, we can't prevent every crime. This is a big, diverse city, big, vibrant, colorful, diverse city. And you know what? This shit happens. That's basically what they tell us, is it not? That is what they tell us in America. That's what they tell us in Europe. That's what they tell you in the United Kingdom. They say, hey man, part and parcel of living in a big city, get used to it. Translation, we are going to tolerate it. We tolerate it, and it's perfectly acceptable. And not only that, but you need to tolerate it. You want to live in London? You need to tolerate the occasional rape, knife attack, stabbing of an innocent teenager, because that's just the way it is. And then, when the white people finally have enough, the government is not responsive, the government doesn't protect them, the government actually prevents you from protecting yourself. They hold you down and handcuff you while you're bleeding out in the street. When white people have enough and they riot and they attack these refugee centers where they harbor these people, then the government emerges with the police and they say, this is unacceptable. This we will not tolerate.
You guys seen anything? Let me know.
Limit. That's the limit. When it's BLM torching the cities, we'll tolerate it. When it's rampant carjackings and shootings and stabbings, we'll tolerate it. When it's Muslim grooming gangs and migrant attacks, we'll tolerate it. That's acceptable. We can accept this because there's no price too high to have a diverse society filled with people from the third world for some reason. But when white people respond online or in real life, when you go online and speak a certain way about this, that they will not tolerate. Zero tolerance. Cops are at your doorstep. When it's the white men rioting and setting the cars on fire, that they will not tolerate. Sending the police, and if there's no room in the jails, empty the jails so we can fill them up with these people. That's the state of affairs in these countries. And not for nothing, I don't support rioting. I'm a Christian. I don't support violence against people or property. And here's what I will tell you, and I'm speaking from experience. Don't get any ideas, because these governments in Europe and the United States, they don't fuck around. And you can say it's not fair, and you can talk about the double standard. It doesn't change the fact that it's real. It is true. Black people get away with fucking everything. They can commit crimes, they'll never be held accountable. They don't get prosecuted, they don't get jailed, they get no cash bail. They get caught and released. It's new catch and release. Catch you doing a crime, release you. Catch you doing a crime, release you. These black people have a rap sheet a mile long before they kill 3 people and then they finally go to jail. And the same goes for the riots. Yes, as a matter of fact, Antifa and black people can riot as much as they want, and they will never be held accountable. They will never be tracked down. They will never be arrested. And if they are, they won't be prosecuted. And if they are, they won't see the inside of a jail cell ever, because they are protected by the state, 100%. They are 100% a protected class. And you are the opposite. If you're white, you are a target. Not only are you not protected, you are targeted. So you better be on your best behavior. You cannot commit crimes. They will throw the book at you. And the difference is, we don't live on welfare. We don't live in this permanent underclass where we never have a job and we never go to school and we live like animals in a pigsty. White people want to have a job, which means you can't have a felony on your record. White people don't want to live in a Section 8 fucking ghetto. So that means they need to make enough money to pay for the property taxes to price out the black people. So that's just simply not an option. White people need to have a valid license to drive to their jobs. So not paying all their tickets isn't an option either. So if you're white, you better be on your best behavior. Black people can steal a car, drive it through the window of a store, steal $10,000 worth of merchandise, get caught, and they still don't go to jail, and they're fine. White people, they get enough speeding tickets, and they're fucked. It's like The Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith. They get enough speeding tickets, and it puts them on a downward spiral that leads to them being on fentanyl and homeless, practically. And then if white people riot, forget it. They'll hire 10,000 FBI agents to track down everybody that spit out their bubble gum on the sidewalk during the riot. That's just how it is. And that's what happened in the UK anti-immigrant riots 2 years ago. And I was the only one saying that. I said, look, if you're in the United Kingdom, don't participate in these riots. They will empty the jails to make room for you. Because they have to. Because the biggest threat to public order in our society is white anger. So they actually will stop at nothing to suppress that. They will stop at nothing to make an example out of people. And they'll stop at nothing to uphold that line. The white people are not allowed to get angry or organize or riot or do those things. They will uphold that. So I don't support the rioting or looting, and I don't think you should go out and do that because I think there's a good chance you mess up your life. But here's what I will say. All of that being said,
say hello. Hit that
it is
subscribe for me,
refreshing to see white people riot. I do love to see it, actually, because you know what? It is our fucking turn. Clearly, that's the only way anything gets done. That's just how we do things. That is just how we do things. Now that society has become open warfare between tribes, this is clearly just how we resolve disputes and differences. Muslim thugs, African thugs, black thugs, gangsters and gangbangers from every group, this is how they get their way. Violence, intimidation, tribalism, rioting, that is how they get their way. That is how they push white people around. That's how they push the government around. And so they have taught us that if you want to have your voice heard, if you want your interests represented, this is how it gets done. When Muslims want something done, they show up in full force and they intimidate. When blacks want something done, they smash a storefront with a trash can. They loot and riot, and the police are defunded, and the body cams are put on. And they change the rules of engagement. We all know how that goes. So you know what? You have taught us that in this multiracial shithole that we now live in, when we're all fighting each other, this is, I guess, just how it's done. You don't want society to explode? Then start protecting white people.
Hey, talk to me, guys.
You don't want society to explode every 6 months with white violence? Then yeah, you need to kick the immigrants out. You need to prevent migrants from coming in because we'll burn their fucking hotels down. I'm not saying we because I don't live there. I don't live in Northern Ireland. But maybe that's the message. Don't bring any more fucking migrants here because we'll sink their boats and we'll go to their hotels. This is what they're saying in Northern Ireland. This is what they're saying in the UK during the riots.
This is getting pretty wild over there.
I don't know if that's actually politically productive. I don't think it is actually. And like I said, I'm against those things. But that's the mentality. I want to make that very clear. I'm not encouraging that, inciting that. I don't want that to happen. But I'm saying that's the mentality, which is, look, the government won't protect the people. The government won't let the people protect themselves. We vote against immigration every time. You get it no matter what. How many more white people need to be beheaded in the streets like it's Africa? They don't do that in Ireland. They don't do that in the UK. And so maybe you understand a different language. Don't bring your precious migrants here